What is up, YouTube? This is Magician34, and I have brought you my Kansas City video game championship team. This is my first VGC. I've played online before lots of times, but this is my first time actually playing like live and in person. And I did kind of a risky thing. I brought stuff that I wasn't 100% sure it was going to work, but you know, life is sometimes more fun when you take some chances and whatnot. I went ahead and I'm leading off with my most unusual choice, which is Medicham or Medicham. It's really unfortunate I like this Pokemon so much, considering I have no real idea how to pronounce his name. But there you go. He's got, when he Mega Evolves, he's obviously my Mega. He's using the Medicamite. He gets a base 100 speed and a base 100 attack, but he still has pure power, so he basically has a base 200 power. So he's got the same damage potential as Mega Mawile, which is pretty awesome, and he also speed ties Mega Kangaskhan. Of course, unfortunately, this guy's adamant, so he's not going to be outspeeding any Jolly Kangas, but that's fine, because we've got speed support to help this guy anyway, rather than try to rely on speed ties. His Zen Headbutt gets us some amazing coverage, and that's why we're adamant, is it allows us to one-shot things that are rather prevalent, like physically defensive Mega Venusaur, for example. Physically defensive Mega Venusaur goes down in one shot to his Zen Headbutt, clean, and so does Amoonguss, and those are pretty common things, and things that I often have a little difficulty getting past. Drain Punch can also take down Mega Kangaskhan pretty easily, which is very nice, because that's another really common Pokemon. It's hard to take out. And Ice Punch is, of course, good for Landorus, Salamence, Garchomp, you name it, all those types of things like that. And Fake Out because, well, it's doubles, and it gives us a clean opportunity to Mega Evolve and increase our speed significantly. And this guy did draw a lot of blood, and his neutral hits are also very damaging. He's a pretty great Mon, especially when you give him support from Mons like Suicune. I opted for Leftovers over Citrus Berry, because there is a certain amount of bug biting and knockoffing, but moreover than that, I think that with Protect, you ultimately gain a lot more life in the long run from Leftovers anyway. So yeah, well, I mean, obviously knockoff gets the Leftovers too, but I feel like I'm going to get more in the long run from the Leftovers even then, than the Citrus, which won't go off if it gets knocked off, obviously. You know, Scald for burn, Ice Beam for more ice coverage, of course, and the Tailwind, because that allows Mega Medicham, especially when he fakes out to protect himself, you know, and you get the Tailwind up. These guys are obviously your optimal lead, these two right here. You know, if he fake outs, and you can go ahead and Suicune Tailwind with Suicune if the situation's right, you know, obviously that gives you a big advantage right there. And can allow you to really do a lot of damage and allow your last two mons to come in and clean up. We have a physically defensive Suicune here, but we do have some special investment enough that Amoonguss has like virtually no chance of taking us on directly, and even Mega Venusaur, I think it's a 3-hit KO with Giga Drain. Things like that. So things he fears aren't really going to hurt that much despite that. Our next mon is going to be Landorus. He's a pretty obvious choice, Landorus Therian, for his Intimidate, of course, and we're opting for Adamant because we're Choice Scarfed, so we might as well get the max damage out of our Rock Slides. But we do also have U-Turn if we decide to lead with him, and Superpower for some coverage on things like Heatran, and then, of course, Earthquake. And the Superpower can also be a way to deal with things like Mega Kangaskhan, of course. And yeah, I'm mentioning Mega Kangaskhan quite a bit, but you know what, he's pretty common. I'm going to apologize for the janky camera work, but my camera support system is really awful, so yeah, I'm sorry. But anyway, and you may notice their IVs and stats are not completely perfect, but you know, that's okay, because I capture all mine, I don't gen my mons. I know that's probably a horrible mistake, but I'm really by the book as a person, and I don't like doing things that are essentially breaking the rules, because, yeah, even though it's not cheating, sort of, if you don't break their stats, you know what, it's not a part of the game to do that, and it's not what they intend for you to do, and I'm not going to get into that discussion, you know, that's a personal choice. If you want to do that, hey, that's cool, that makes your life a lot easier and faster, but this is how I opt to do things. So, for whatever it's worth, you know, this is my thing, and if they're Pokemon I can breed, obviously I can get perfect stats, but, anyhow. My next mon I opted for is Gengar. Gives us some good coverage, gives us some nice immunities to things, which is awesome. He's Sash because he's quite fragile, and this guy's just all about speed here. He's another speed supporter for Mega Medicham because of his Icy Wind, and we got a Sludge Bomb Stab for things like Sylveon, which are pretty common. And then Shadow Ball is just another good stab that covers pretty well. And of course, Will-O-Wisp to neutralize physical threats. Our next mon is Hydreigon. We opted for the Life Orb, and we just have a lot of coverage moves, plus Protect, of course, because it's doubles. We need Protect to help cover us, and he's timid for speed here to kind of help us get the drop on other mons of similar speed, yada, yada, yada. He's got his 2 stabs, Draco, and Dark Pulse, and then Flamethrower, because we do need to cover things like Scizor, because otherwise we might be in some trouble there. And more Levitate support so that we can get around Earthquakes and stuff like that. And our last mon here is Scizor. He's Choice Banded. 2-choice Pokemon I know is a little risky in doubles, but I like the Banded Scizor because of the damage output. It allows his Bullet Punch to pretty much one-shot Sylveons, which is awesome. And I like Bug Bite just as his just to give us another bug stab. It's kind of some neutral coverage in a lot of situations, so I like that. Once again, we got Superpower for coverage and Knockoff as well. And just once again, the band just gets us so much damage, especially in conjunction with Technician. It's crazy. And that's the team, and it's mostly pretty meta, of course, except for this guy. Would that I could do it differently? I don't know if I'd stick with him. I still think he's, well, she in this case. I still think Medicham is probably worth fooling around with. It's an amazing mon. It's a faster Mawile, essentially. And its move pool is ridiculously deep. This is just the set that I thought got me the best coverage. But he also has access to all the elemental punches and poison jab and pretty much you name it. And he's got it. The only thing he's lacking here, obviously, is close combat. But honestly, with his power, he doesn't actually need it. Drain Punch seems to do pretty well and can be a good way of getting around minor hits like Fake Out and the damage from stuff like that. Although, pretty frail defensively, but there are a number of mons like that. And I'm fond of Glass Cannons. I just like stuff like that. For some reason, they just kind of suit me. So anyway, that's my team. I went 3-5, and most of the matches are really straightforward, and I lost them. Yeah, it wasn't hacks or anything like that. There was only one match that was pretty hacksy. It was a Dark Void Smeargle team, and it was pretty ridiculous. Because he also had Sheer Cold, and I got 3-turn sleeps on 2 mons, and also his Sheer Cold never missed. So it was pretty ridiculous stuff. But overall, I like the team. I enjoyed. I'm going to play around with it some more, and I may bring y'all other teams in the future, and I am going to get a better camera setup, so no fear. But if this is something that you'd like to see more of and you think is interesting, hey, let me know in the comment section below. Hit that like button. And, you know, if not, you want me to focus more on cards, don't fear. I'm already going to be focusing on cards all the time because that's what I do. That's my thing. This will just be something extra. So let me know what you think, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to follow me on Twitter for more Pokemon content.